and welcome to my channel, Duckpotatoe's World. My name is Katie, and I'm also known as Mrs. Duckpotato, and you have found my monthly video vlog where I mostly talk about my knitting and my crochet and whatever else comes to mind. If you are new, I am so happy you found me. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I know that you have a lot of options about what you can spend your leisure hours watching on YouTube, and I really appreciate that you have decided to spend some time with me today. This is episode 28. It is the September 1st episode of Created to Create, and we are going to be looking at all of the crazy things I got into back in July, and looking forward to what I plan to work on for this month. You can find me on Ravelry as Mrs. Duckpotato, no punctuation and an E at the end, or on Instagram as Mrs. Duckpotato, no punctuation with an E at the end. Yes, I know Duckpotato is misspelled. It's been that way since I was in the 7th grade, and I'm not going to change it now. So that is where you guys can find me. I have fulfilled a promise. There is a new Lottie sock machine video up on the channel called the Simul Sock. That video was a doozy, you guys, to edit. So I knit 2 socks, the left sock and the right sock, and the video is showing both socks being knit more or less at the same time. Now, they did not take exactly the same amount of time. There's some video editing magic going on in there, but it's kind of a cool setup. You can watch both socks as they're being knit from, I can't remember if they're the same camera angle or if it's 2 slightly different camera angles, but that is the Simul Sock. So if you are interested in seeing a sock being knit on a sock machine, go check out my Circular Sock Machine Journey playlist, where everything that has to do with Lottie finds its way over onto that playlist. So check that out if you are interested. And I do have quite a bit of sock machine footage that I have filmed over the last weeks of summer, and I'm going to be editing and turning into videos in the next few months. So you should be able to look forward to a lot of sock machine content coming up. I have also put up a new Mrs. Duckpotato Knits video. It's just a crash course in charts, reading charts for your knitting. If you would like help with that, or you're interested in that, you can check that video out on my Duckpotato Knits playlist, where I have more like tutorials and demos are kind of on that playlist. And if you're wondering, I love playlists because I only have one YouTube channel, and so everything I do has to be tucked into this one channel, and I know everybody doesn't want to watch everything. So if you're looking for something, definitely check out my playlists. I have a homeschool playlist. Our homeschool is called Brohard Christian Boys Academy, BCBA for short, and it has its own playlist if you want to see what sorts of things I'm torturing my kids with that month. I have Created for Praise, which is just a channel where my family praises God. We are a family of people who love music, so we love to sing. I am learning to play guitar, definitely learning, but I'm trying, and I'm having fun with that. My son, who is let's see, he's 13, Joe, he's learning to play guitar, so some of his stuff is over there. So if you have any interest in that, that's the playlist for you in that regard. Then, of course, there's the sock machine playlist, there's this knitting playlist. I probably have some others. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head, but that's definitely, if you're wanting to find something specific, that's the place to go for that. Now, let's see, what I am wearing is also a finished object. This is my Tally shawl by Alina Apasova. I love this, love this, love this. This was my summer project, my summer poolside knitting. And technically, summer in Texas, I think in the Northern Hemisphere, doesn't end until like September 20th. So even though we've started school, in fact, we just finished our 2nd week of homeschool, even though we've started school, we're counting this as a summer knit. This is a fabulous, fabulous pattern for those single skeins that you really want to showcase. It's actually written for a fingering weight yarn. I used Juniper Moon Farms Summer Solstice paints in the colorway Surfing Safari. This is actually a sport weight yarn, but it's a really lovely, 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 just shawlette kind of size. And I was, let's see, wherever that little guy is, I was here when I filmed last month, and I've actually worn this once already and blocked it with the stitch marker in, so I'm going to take that off now. But yeah, Actually, I'm probably going to let this little baby hang out as a shop sample at Hot Springs Fiber Company for a few months, because I don't need it. I have a lot. I don't know how many. I have a lot of shawls, a few. And it's getting colder, and this is definitely a summer shawl, so I think I'm going to let Tracy over at Hot Springs Fiber Company borrow this one for a couple of months, but I love it. I'm very, very happy. I love the way the colors came out really, like, evenly, I guess is the word. Very happy with that. And let's see what I'm wearing that I want to talk about, you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last couple of months worth of videos, it has been a toss-up what kind of glasses I'm going to be wearing. So it came to my attention that it had been like 2 years since I had seen the eye doctor because my glasses broke. And I was like, how old are these? Anyway, so I went to the eye doctor. I got a new prescription. Now, the VA provides me with a free pair of glasses every year. So the glasses I was wearing last month, actually, were my free VA pair. And they are super cute. They're big, square, red plastic frames, and I love them. But I have been wearing glasses since I was probably in the 1st or 2nd grade. And the downside to glasses is that they are the same every day. I can change my shirt and my dress and my earrings and my shawl, but my glasses are this constant. I can't, it's not even like hair. You can fix your hairstyle, although y'all know I never do anything with my hair. But you could if you wanted to, right? But your glasses, you're stuck wearing the exact same frames day in, day out, no matter what you're doing all the time. Well, my sister-in-law introduced me to Pair Eyewear, and you guys, I am in love. So just so you know, I am not sponsored by Pair Eyewear, but if you like this information, I will put a link in the description box down below where you can get some money off if you shop there from my link. But you guys, these are the coolest concept ever. They have dozens of base frame designs. So you pick your frame and you can choose your color. I am wearing the pink clear plastic. That's my choice. And then you order top frames. So I love the look with just the pink clear. I think it looks really nice. I've worn brown plastic or brown metal frames for years. So the pink plastic is I feel like it opens up my face and, you know, makes it so that my glasses aren't like the only thing you see when I'm coming. And then you can pick out these magnetic toppers and you can change out your style. So right now I'm wearing a pair that looks like self-striping yarn knit up. It's one of my favorites. I've had these glasses for about a month, and I probably have, I don't know, a dozen different toppers already. I change them out almost every day. Absolutely love it. So I do have some of the official Pair Eyewear toppers that came from the company that sold the glasses. But this particular set, this knitted self-striping yarn, came from a company called pairtoppers.com. And I will leave an affiliate link down below for you there too, if this is something you're interested in. But I think they are adorable. I'll get a close-up picture up here because I don't know how well you can see them from there. But I've gotten toppers now from 3 or 4 different creators. Pair Toppers, which is like a mass-produced, I don't know, for lack of a better word, knockoffs. And then, of course, the official Pair Eyewear. I have their official toppers, too. But yeah, they're so much fun. I have several different knitting ones I'll be wearing over the next few months. I am looking at purchasing a couple of more sets. I have to be careful because my husband doesn't seem to feel like I need to buy toppers as much as I feel like I need to buy toppers. I don't know what his deal is, but I'm having so much fun with him. I'm trying to keep it to a dull roar because I've joined some Facebook groups where people are like selling used ones and stuff, and apparently it can get way, I don't want to say out of hand. It's probably not out of hand, but it can definitely become sort of like buying yarn, if you catch my drift, right? Maybe you have a few more than you're ever practically going to wear for a while. So I haven't gone totally crazy. I saw some people that had like 200 to 300 different toppers. Oh, I have a pair of toppers that's sunglasses. Love it, love it, love it. Best thing ever. I don't have to fuss around with switching out actual glasses. I just pull out my sunshades and pop them back on. They go over, if I'm wearing a decorative pair, they go over that. Sorry, that was a long talk about glasses. Those are actually Pair Eyewear brand. They are polarized too, which I've never had polarized sunglasses before, so that's kind of cool. Again, I'm not actually sponsored by either of these companies, but I just am loving my glasses. My frames are called the Wandas. I was actually going to get the Larkins. That's what my sister-in-law has, and I tried hers on, and I thought they were super cute. And so I was really anxious when I ordered these because I try them on. I just kind of, they have like a, you know, virtual try-on thing. But it turns out I love them. I love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. So that is exciting to me, you know, the little things. But yeah, so that is what I am wearing this month. Finished objects. You guys, I have finished some stuff. I didn't finish everything I wanted to in August, but I got close. But I have finished some stuff. So of course there's the tally. That is done. And then you guys, I finished my 2022 Blanket of Knowledge, my shell-shocked blanket, the first year of Blanket of Knowledge. And I actually finished that back in July, but I couldn't show it to you when I was doing the August video because I left it in Hot Springs as a sample for a month. I'm gonna go actually get it next weekend and bring it home. But I will put a picture of me and my first Blanket of Knowledge. This one was done in the shell-shocked colorway. It was the original first year. So she opened her shop, I think in July of 2022, and started the first Blanket of Knowledge month was August of 2022. So this blanket went from August of 2022 to July of 2023. And mine is a little bit bigger than maybe some folks. I wound up with 30 blocks because I did 2 every month, which would have been 24. And then I had the extra 6 because I either designed a block and so I had an extra one, or I had leftover yarn and I knit an extra one, or whatever. So mine is a little bit bigger than most people's, maybe if they did 1 year, but it's great. I love it. I can't wait to get it home for the winter. And yeah, so I'll probably be able to show it in real life, hopefully, in the October video. Y'all have to think about the months in my head. So yeah, so that was that. And then I also finished some socks on the sock machine. I had Lottie out. So I'll show you guys those. I should have thought to put them on sock blockers, but I apparently did not think that through. So they're not on blockers. But this first pair is, let's see, this is a toe-up simple sock. This yarn was the camo rainbow that Tracy and I actually dyed back in July of 2023 during their birthday celebration last year. And this was called the aggressive green. So we did a camo themed rainbow. We did red, orange, yellow, blue, and green, and purple, I think, highlighter type colors, and kind of mixed them with a camo-y background. This is the camo green. It was called aggressive green. And I still have a whole nother hank of this left, but this is a pair of socks for my husband, who will be very happy to have them. And then this is the same pattern with a pair of socks for my youngest son. So I was planning on striping it with the brown because I knew I wouldn't have quite enough of the aggressive green left over. And this brown, I don't even remember what it was. It was something left over I had in my stash. And when I was making the first one, and I think this was the first one, I miscounted this stripe here where the heel was, I think. And anyway, I miscounted the stripe, and so it got, you know how sometimes your socks are twins and sometimes they're just siblings? Well, these guys are like cousins. They are on the same family tree, but they don't look a whole lot alike. But my kid doesn't mind. He's just going to be happy to have them because I finished them almost a month ago, and I wouldn't let him wear them until I showed them on the thing because I don't know how many people have had sons or are a boy or live with a teenage boy, but teenage boys' feet just stink. I mean, in all fairness, when I was a teenager, y'all, I had like really stinky feet. If you ask any of my family, they will tell you it was awful. So honestly, it's probably just a teenager thing, and maybe it's just a me thing that they inherited from me. I don't know, but either way, they stink even after you wash them. It's just, ugh. So I wanted them to be nice and clean and not smelly. I know you can't actually smell through the video, but I can. So yeah, anyway. So I did, those are the same. Both of these are the toe-up simple sock. Love that pattern. It's a Dean and Bean pattern. My favorite, I have it memorized now. I can just whip out a pair of socks like that. I used my awesome little sock slap ruler bracelet thing that I still love from Twice Sheared Sheep. And then I wanted to do something new. And so I made Susan's sock. So this is actually the first sock kind of recipe I think that they have on their YouTube channel, but it makes this wedge heel. And this was a little different. I was hoping these would be for my youngest son, but they wound up belonging to one of my older kids because they just came out. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I was making these for my younger middle child, for Joe, and they were too small, and so they're going to be Judah's. I don't know. I think these might be Joe's and these might be Judah's. I can't remember. I have it written down somewhere. But anyway, they did not fit the way I expected using my twice sheared sheep slap happy sock ruler. So that was kind of sad. And I mean, this heel is a wonky heel. Like, you can see it, it's not nearly as, I don't know what, it's just different. Not the same. Let me find one that's the same color. See if that shows you a little bit better. They're just like, these are my husband's. They're just a really different heel. And I think it makes the foot longer. And so even though I started the heel where the sock ruler said I should, I think it just made the whole sock a little longer. Anyway, they came out a funky size. I'm still going to I think I wound up giving them to my youngest son. I think they were too small for Joe, but a little too big for Judah. And I figured Judah's feet will grow. I mean, he's not getting any smaller, so I think that's what I did. And then the cousin socks, I think, are Joey's. And then the first pair I did that is more regularly typical, that one's for my husband. But yeah, all of those were cranked out on Lottie. And then, of course, I can't have Lottie out without offering to make sock tubes for all of my friends, because I love them and they love me. So I think they did like 3 sock tubes. I'll put pictures of them. I've already given them back to the people to whom they were belonging. So that was fun. Although I had a weird hiccup. Like, they were really loose. To the point where I don't know if my friends are going to be able to make socks out of them. I don't know what I did different. I knit those socks and then I knit the tubes. So I don't know why they were so loose. Next time I go to knit a tube, I guess I need to double check the tension. Clearly there was something funky and I did not catch it until my poor friend was like, this is the tube you made for me last time, and this is the tube you made for me this time, and the new one's like this and the older one's like this, and I was like, I'm sorry. So there's still some kinks that I don't always get. I still haven't touched the ribber. Not sure if I ever will. Just haven't. It'll probably be a thing I can figure out, like I keep saying, if I ever take the time to figure it out, but it doesn't look like I'm going to make that a priority, so we'll see. I own ribbers for it if I ever want to figure them out. And then the last thing that I finished is my summer Hexie Fade blanket by Mallory Crawl, and I'm so proud of it. Oh, goodness. So this is it. I think I had finished rings 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that right? How many rings are on this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 rings. So I must have finished the 4th ring last month. And now I have finished the 5th ring and put a blue border on it. And yeah, it has been washed and blocked. And all it needed to be was shown off to you. And now I can pack it up and give it to that precious baby. Just in time for it to start getting cooler. So I am so happy. This was definitely my first big crochet project. And I think it's not perfectly flat when you lay it out on the floor, but it's not bad. There's a little bit of ruffly around the edges. I don't know if that's just because I got looser as I got more experienced, or what that might have been about, but it is done. I'm very happy with it. It is a lot of yarn. I should have weighed it and looked and seen how much yarn it was, but it's heavy. It's got a good weight to it. This is all DK yarn. It's all Hot Springs Fiber Company Blanket of Knowledge colors. Mostly leftovers from the first year Shell Shocked, but there's some, like this one is from the first year's. Oh, this one's from Enchanted, I think. This one's from Enchanted. This one's from Enchanted. Some of them were some leftovers from Enchanted. I think some of them were the leftovers from the turquoise colorway from the first year. That was my mom's color. She had some leftovers that I put in there. A little bit of it was from Cabin in the Woods. Actually, I think this one was one from the True Love colorway, which was the little frogs. that I bought, because I bought some. This one was from Blue Tide, which I think Blue Tide is a colorway you can still get. This one was probably from Blue Tide also. So yeah, there's a cabin in the woods for sure. So yeah, it was mostly made out of scraps. I think I bought like 3 hanks of yarn to kind of fill in so I would have enough hexagons to make it a good sized blanket. I mean, it's a baby blanket, so it didn't need to be huge, but I did want it to be comfortable, a comfortable size. So yeah, and let's see, what else did I make? I made one more thing. Oh, we have this social that we do at our church from time to time. It's a ladies social. It's one of my favorites. It's called Favorite Things. And there's like 5 categories, and you buy or make or acquire or whatever your favorite thing in each one of the categories, and you bring it to the social, and everybody puts their names in drawings, and then they draw names, and you win from somebody else what they brought. You win one of the things they brought, and then somebody else wins yours, so that when you leave, you have 5 new things from five different people. I mean, you could get something from the same person, but more or less from 5, you'll have 5 different things from 5 different people. Well, the categories were food, so I baked a loaf of sourdough. Quite a few people baked bread, in fact. And then there was your favorite indoor thing. Well, my favorite indoor thing was a Kathleen Fuller book. I gave away one of the Maple Falls books. And then there was a favorite outdoor thing, and I am not a big outdoorsy person generally. I mean, I can have fun doing whatever everybody wants to do, but if you're asking me what I want to do, it isn't gonna involve being outside unless it involves the water. If it's the water, now I'm all about that. But otherwise, like, I'm not a big watch football games or go hiking or mow lawns or plant things. No, not really. So anyway, my favorite outdoorsy thing is this little fan. My husband bought me one. It fits in my purse, and it doubles as a flashlight and a phone charger. So I gave away one of those as my favorite outdoor thing. And then it was the thing that you have to have in your purse all the time. And for me, that was lens wipes, because again, I've been wearing glasses for the better part of 30 years, and I can't stand it when they get dust bits and fingerprints and I don't know, eye goop. I have really thick lenses, so my eyelashes hit my lenses and it leaves little tiny spots. Can't stand it. So lens wipes, that was the thing out of my purse. And then the last thing was they called the wild card. You could bring anything. Well, the last time we did this social, I actually knit a pair of ribbed socks with the ribber on Lottie. And I don't know what I was thinking, because that was a terrible experience, but I did do it. I have done 1 pair of ribbed socks on my ribber, but there was no way I was putting myself through that torture again this time. So I crocheted a pair of the asymmetrical Monstera leaf earrings, and that pattern is by PK Olson. It's a pattern from Ravelry. I think it was free, but I used some Advent yarn from a 2019 Advent calendar from Knit and Style Yarns. It was a merino nylon sock yarn, and it was called a vintage Christmas card, and I'll have to put a picture in because that social already happened and I already gave those away. Let's see. Oh, and I also knit a swatch. So I did not know anything about the yarnist. Some of you may have heard of him. He has a YouTube channel, and he has like this whole app community thing that you can download on your phone, and there's like Zoom knit-alongs you can be part of, and lots of forums where everybody's talking about knitting, and he has classes that you can buy if you're needing to learn something. And anyway, he had a summer knitting weekend with the artist, and I didn't even know about it until like a few days before, but of course I rearranged my whole schedule so I could watch as much of this live as I could. And I think I only made it the first day live, and then after that I just was kind of catching up later in the evening. But I wound up knitting this funny little swatch. I'll put a picture of that up here for you. Just to learn different things. I did some intarsia, which I'd never done before, and a Latvian braid, which I'd never done before. We did some mosaic knitting, which I have done before, but it was still fun. And something, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a specific to Estonia technique, a colorwork technique where you wrap bars around your knitting. And I'll put the name of it on the screen because I can't remember what it was called, but we did some of that. And we learned different cast-ons for color work, and we knit stripes, which I already knew how to do, but it was fun. It was free, which I always like things that are free, and it was on YouTube, and you could just kind of watch it. But I've got the app on my phone, and I may explore some more stuff with the yarnist. That was pretty neat. Apparently this is the first time they've done a sock camp like that. They have some other things that they're planning to do later. I don't know if I'm going to do any of those or not. I'll decide later, but it was a neat experience, and it was a lot of fun. It was like a 4-day thing. I learned some things, some stuff I already knew. They did an interview with several different dyers. The Lemonwood folks were an interview that was kind of fun. But yeah, so that brings me to my works in progress. So what we got going on. So again, when I had Lottie out, you know I didn't make all those socks for them boys and not make any for me. So I made 2 pairs of socks for me, and I made heel tab no-show socks, and they are not technically done because while the socks are done, I have not Kitchenered the toes. So these I'm really happy with. Again, I used my little handy dandy ruler, and these are a little on the tight side, but you knit these with the heel spring on, and so I'll just keep in mind that I might go up like a half size next time. I made this out of Felt Fusion Superwash Bamboo Sock, I think it was called, in the colorway What Katie Did. My husband bought this for me a while back because, of course, it was called What Katie Did, and it was orange. So it had to be mine. Made sense to me. And then I did 2, actually. So I have another pair. And this pair was knit out of some leftovers from Night Owl Fibers. This is a Night Owl Fiber self-striping yarn. I had made a pair for my sister, and then I saved the leftovers to make a pair for me. And this is Knit Picks Stroll Pucker, and this is called Hoppin' My Scotch. Hoppin' with my Scotch. But yeah, so same thing here. These socks are done. They were done on the machine. I just need to Kitchener the toe. And yeah, I love Night Owl Fibers self-striping yarn. I think it is really pretty. And these are not only siblings, these are twinsies, y'all. I got this pretty much perfect. Man, I can't hold on to nothing. Hold on. Let me dive down to the floor and find my sock. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, these bad boys are pretty much perfect. I was tickled pink about that. So yeah, these won't take me very long, like half an hour. I just need to sit down and put the Kitchener in the toe. And they are in, I was at the grocery store of all places, and they had the cutest little bags on the clearance item, and they had to come home with me because they were adorable. They're like quilted, and I think they were made in India. And yeah, so I bought one, and it's got my socks in it. My almost finished socks. Let's see, other works in progress. I have my This Away shawl, which I had just started last month, and I have made some progress on it. Not a lot because I've been focusing on these blankets, but I was here last month, so I've knit maybe 2 inches. Again, it's not a lot. I have been focused on other things, but these are about to become my priority because this shawl needs to be done in time for DFW Fiber Festival in 3 weeks. So they are about to get a whole lot of love because I'm not really sure if I'm going to get that done that fast, but I'm going to try. All right, and that is, let's see, that's the main thing. So that shawl is being knit in Lang Yarns Arumi, which is a discontinued yarn, and the colorways are just numbers. I think the turquoise is 988.0058 and the orange is 988.0059. So it's not a thing that they make anymore, but I do enjoy it. And my Bubbles socks, I have done absolutely nothing on, so there was no point in showing them to you because I haven't worked on them at all. And I did not start any of the Christmas animal socks that I'm supposed to be making for my kids for Christmas. Probably over Thanksgiving, I will really hunker down and work on that. And it's entirely possible I will be making 6 pairs of socks on Christmas Eve. If you want to check out how many socks can I knit in a day, it turns out I can make quite a few in one day with my sock machine if I have to. So that's what's going on with my sock world. And that brings us to my wonderful favorite thing, the blanket of knowledge. All right, y'all. So I was a little bit behind last month, but I'm happy to report that I'm all caught up with one of them. So I did finish all 12 months worth of blocks for my cabin in the woods, and I am done with that colorway. I still need to seam up the blanket and put a border on it, and I will focus on that in October. That blanket is for my son's birthday, which isn't until the end of October. So now that all the blocks are knit, and they're all blocked, I think I have a few ends. Well, I think I have like half my ends to weave in still, but they're knit and they're blocked, and I'm super happy with that. Give me just a second and I'll show it to you. There we go. So all 3 of these blocks are done, and they were the last ones for that blanket. So there's 1, 2, 3. There they all are. And they're blocked and beautiful and ready to go. So that blanket is not exactly done. I mean, like I said, I still have to seam all this together and then do an I-cord border. I'm going to do an I-cord border for sure on this one. But as far as I'm concerned, the blocks are done, and so that's in a good place. Then my enchanted blanket, well, I'm still working on July, but I finished all of June. And I'm about a third of the way through July. So I will put a picture of the whole blanket. I laid it out on the floor today when I was at a friend's of mine. We were knitting together. And so I'll show you a picture of the whole thing laid out. But that way I don't have to drag it out of its bag. It's like a plushy thing. Like you have to like mush it down in there. It's a little bit big. But I am a good third of the way through the July block. I think I'm going to finish the July block. And then I think I am going to wash it and block it. My friend has a big room where we can lay it out on the ground, on her floor, not the ground, her clean floor in her room, and let it dry before I put a border on it. But once this strip is done, all it will need is a border, and then this one will be completely done. So it is a wonderful size, y'all. The DK weight blanket of knowledge with a 300 stitch count and 12 months is a very comfortable size. It's not quite 5.5 feet tall, but it might be, by the time I finish that, it might be about as tall as I am, and probably close, maybe not quite as this way wide, but a good size. I'll have to measure it once we block it and see what it comes out, but I'm really happy with it. All of the women were real excited about it. They were telling me it was beautiful, so it must be true, right? Looks beautiful to me. Woo! Sorry about my butt there. Maybe I'll edit something over my tush so you don't get a camera shot of my rear. All right, blanket of knowledge. So there is my 2 second year, so blankets number 2 and 3 from the second year. Now the blanket of knowledge isn't continuously ongoing, knit along. You can join it and stop it whenever you want. You don't have to do it in sets of 12 months. I just happen to do it mine that way, but you don't have to. You can make a bigger blanket and go longer. You can make a smaller blanket and go shorter. It's entirely up to you. Since those 2 blankets have been mostly what I've been showing, my cabin in the woods blanket has mostly been what I have used to make the tutorial videos for the last year. So I don't know still. I am going to make more blankets. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I haven't really decided how I'm going to construct them yet. So for the August tutorial video, I decided I was going to make a blanket of knowledge scarf. And I'm going to add to it as I do the videos. So this is an old cabin in the woods colorway. It's called Blooming Pincushion Moss. But this is the August pattern for blanket of knowledge. And the August bonus stitch. It's right there. You can see that, hopefully. And so what I'm going to do in September when I go to film the tutorial video is I will add a strip for September, and after 12 months, I'll have a scarf that I will make. And look, there's my little ducks. I love them. So yeah, I have another one. I bought all the ones they had on clearance from the grocery store because I thought they were so cute. But yeah, I've got my little blanket of knowledge demo scarf, and that is fun. So you can see the August pattern. Do you notice I'm not showing you an August project? So there were just some unavoidable delays, and while everyone else has gotten their August box, I don't have mine in my hands yet. Whoops! I'll be right back. There we go. Sorry about that. The air conditioning kicked on and it blew my filter off of my light. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I do not have my August boxes to show you. And yes, I know I said last month I was only going to do one blanket of knowledge this month. Oh, well, I didn't lie on purpose, but apparently I lied. So I am going to do 2 blankets of knowledge again this year. My knit version will be in the new colorway, the Fall Fun colorway, which I'm really excited about. And then my second blanket, which will be for my son Joe, is going to be in the retired colorway Campfire. So unfortunately, if you don't already have Campfire as your colorway, you're not going to be able to sign up with this. It is not available any longer for new blanket of knowledge people. But Fun Fall is what replaced it, and it will be. So you'll be able to join in with that colorway if you want. And of course, she has 8 colorways, so you can always look. Cabin in the Woods and Enchanted are both still there. Serenity and Blue Tide are very popular. Let's see. Cabin in the Woods, Serenity, Blue Tide, Enchanted, Fall Fun, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 3 more. Brackish, that's the crabs. Full Bloom is the flower. And there's one more, y'all. But I am not thinking of it right now. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember what the other colorway is. But yeah, you have plenty to choose from. So I'm going to continue with the DK weight. I just prefer... I knit plenty of things in fingering weight. I like my blankets to be a little on the weighty side. I like the DK weight. So that will be mine. But as soon as I get my boxes, I will put an unboxing video up for you guys. So, and when I finish my July strip on Enchanted, I'll probably show off all the different blocks from Cabin in the Woods, the whole completed Enchanted strips minus the border, and then I'll do an unboxing of my Fall Fun and my Campfire. So yeah. I am hoping to get those worked on in August. And of course, I'm excited to spotlight some of you viewers who are working on your blankets of knowledge. I would like to show off Alicia Osborne's work. She started the Blue Tide crochet version in July. I actually had the very great pleasure of meeting her and her crafty daughter when I was in Hot Springs during the crawl back in July, and they are doing a wonderful job. This is her first month and it looks beautiful. And then I'm also going to showcase Becky Anderson, who also started her project in July with a Serenity knit version. Both of them have done beautiful work. Remember, if you would like your project to be shown off here on my channel, I would love to show it off. You can either submit a photograph in the Ravelry group, Blanket of Knowledge by Hot Springs Fiber Company. There's a thread for submitting pictures that you would like to be shown in the videos, or there's a Facebook group called Blanket of Knowledge by Hot Springs Fiber Company, and there is a pinned post at the top of that Facebook group where you can put in pictures if you have something you would like to share with the rest of us. I would love to see lots of crochet versions. I would love to see lots of knit versions. I love to see different colorways. And if your work appears on the YouTube channel, Tracy will give you 10% off your next purchase. So there's that incentive too. Share with us. We want to see what you're doing. And speaking of the crochet blanket of knowledge, y'all, I think I'm going to try to crochet the campfire. I titled the project Out of the Fireplace and Into the Campfire because, you know, I need to crochet something really difficult, even though I've been crocheting for, well, technically I've been crocheting for 1 whole year because Deb taught me to crochet at the anniversary at Hot Springs Fiber Company last summer in 2023. But I've really only been like consistently working on stuff for about 6 or 8 months. But I am enjoying it. I get some of the things that crocheters always told me, like whenever crocheters would be like, oh, don't worry about fixing mistakes. I always thought, why are the crocheters all like oh well, there's a mistake and they never want to fix it. I learned why. They have a very good reason. You see on that big hexagon blanket that has 6 sides? Here's the thing. When I'm going around on that 5th ring and I come across a hexagon where the last row is made up of clusters instead of double crochets, in order to fix that, I have to pull out everything in the 5th round that I just did. And then everything in the 4th round, all the way back to the one where the mistake is. And I ain't doing that. And those smart crocheters, they weren't doing it either. And that's why crocheters are always like, that's a design element. I totally get it now. It's not like knitting. In knitting, I get over here and see a mistake. No big deal. I drop down. I fix it. I come back up. I'm good. Most mistakes I can fix that way. Crochet? Nuh-uh. Nope. Doesn't work like that. Nope. So yeah, there were quite a few hexagons that I worked on in July during the yarn crawl while I was visiting with all of you wonderful people. Let's just say they're a little bit creative on the edges. So we just sort of fudged it, made it work, and kept going. Because, yeah, wasn't about to undo all that. Now, let's see, acquisitions. I have not acquired any yarn because I am coming off the crawl, and I have more yarn than I know what to do with anyway, and then I bought stuff at the crawl. So I haven't bought any yarn. But I borrowed a book from my friend Regina, the one with all the floor space that she's going to share with me. I borrowed a book from her, and I'd like to show it to you. Let me see if I can get it. There it is. This book is called Learn to Weave. So a little birdie told me when I was in Hot Springs in July that somebody might be giving me a 36-inch floor loom for Christmas. You guys, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am about that. I have piddled with spinning. I have a drop spindle. I can spin on it. I just have no interest in spinning on it. I have piddled with weaving. I am much, much, much more interested in weaving. Every time I go to a fiber festival where they have a loom where they'll let you play with it, I've played with it. I've watched other people weave. My friend Regina has a big old loom and she's always making the most beautiful things on it. So my husband and I are still in negotiations on exactly how and where we are going to squeeze a 36-inch floor loom into my house. But we are. You're working on it. In the meantime, I got a lot to learn. And then my good friend Faith, she was gifted a 36-inch floor loom as well. And so she and I are going to kind of learn together. So she's going to get a copy of this book too. And we're going to start reading it together. And we are going to learn to weave. And hopefully sometime in 2025, I will be able to introduce you to whom I'm affectionately considering as Luna the Loom in my head. Now, I haven't met this loom, so her name might change. Although I tend to name things and stick with it. It's so maybe not. But I'm hoping Lottie will have a friend. I have no idea exactly. Like, we have lots of ideas about how we can fit her in the house. It's just that my husband and I have very different ideas. Like, he seems to think it's a good idea to put her in the garage, and I do not. I want to put her in the dining room, like the breakfast nook, which is where my office is currently, and turn this room where I'm in right now into my office. So actually, this is the same room that I filmed in last month. It's the 4th bedroom in our house. There's 2 people in each bedroom, and then we have what we call the playroom or the guest room. It has a bed, but it doesn't always have a body. Now, lots of times it has a body, but not always. This desk was not here last month. My husband actually got a new standing desk. He works from home. I homeschool my kids from home. I work from home. We're all home all the time. That's why my house is a mess. That, and I don't actually clean because I knit. But anyway, I digress. He got a new desk. So this was his desk that was in our bedroom. He moved it into here, and we hooked up a computer to this TV for our kids to use with school and stuff. And so this wasn't here when I filmed last month. So I was kind of like off in this corner over here trying to film. Actually really happy with this setup the way it is right now for filming. So that actually worked out really well. And I don't remember what my whole point was. Oh, the loom. I now remember. So what I want to do is there's this space in front of me that you can't see. I want to move my office into this space in front of me and put the loom where my office is right now. That's what I want to do. My husband doesn't want to lose the spare bed. Granted, he's right. We use it frequently, but we also have a pull-out couch. So it's not like we don't have an alternative for place for people to stay. His argument is we often use them both. And he's right. On more than one occasion have we used both the spare room bed and the pull-out couch simultaneously. But we also have a trundle bed under the bunk beds. So, I mean, we have a lot of family and they visit. So, I get that it would be a loss to get rid of the bed. I'm not flippant about it, but loom. Right? The loom needs to come live with us. So, anyway. All of that to tell you that we're working it out. We're going to figure it out. I'm hoping sometime in January to be able to introduce you to my newest crafty baby. My loom, Luna the Loom. Now, in addition to my weaving book, I have some really, really neat things that I have acquired in the way of books. So we have a dear, dear young man. His name is Ewan. He goes to the local community college in a town near where I live in Tyler, and he is from Japan. So we met Ewan because when there are holidays, they close the dorms and everyone has to leave. Well, his family is nowhere near here, and it was, quite expensive to be flying back and forth from Texas to Japan just for, Thanksgiving for a week. So we offered to let him stay with us for a week. I told you we use the spare bed all the time. And he came and stayed with us for Thanksgiving. Oh, this would have been 2 Thanksgivings ago now. This would have been in 2022. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. And we told him, the dorms will close in December. If you're not planning to go back to Japan, you want to stay with us for Christmas. And he did. So he stayed with us for Christmas of 2022. And then he stayed with us for the summer of 2023, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2023. And this summer, he actually only stayed with us a little bit because he flew back to Japan to visit his mother and his brother, whom I'm sure missed him, and his father, who I'm sure all missed him greatly. And he came home and he brought presents. And he had asked before he left, if there was anything in particular that I would like to have from Japan. And of course I told him, knitting and crochet books. And he brought me 2. So they're Clover magazines. They're put on by the company Clover. And we have Clover tools and supplies and things here. But yeah, these are Clover knitting and crochet magazines from Japan. And they are really beautiful. Now, they're so funny because the binding is on the right. In America, the binding is on the left, but the binding is on the right, and they open the other direction, and you read them backwards, which is kind of different. And I had thought that this would be a really fun thing because I know a lot of Japanese knitting patterns are charted. And so I thought for sure I would probably be able to follow along with some charts. And they have some really gorgeous designs. And this one here has a lot of knit stuff in it. And a lot of it is charted, but not all of it. But it also has a lot of crochet patterns. And those are charted as well. But I've never read a crochet chart. So I don't know if I will be able to, there's a granny square patterns. I don't know if I will be able to knit anything or crochet anything out of this or not. I really love this, and you can tell these colors are so right up my alley. But the book is so cool. I love looking at it. I could probably learn a lot. It has instruction sections. And yeah, I'm super excited. There's actually several patterns in here I would like to knit. So, if one is stubborn enough about it, like I said, it's all charted. Knit and crochet. So I might be able to figure some stuff out. Between the pictures, the charting, and Google Translate. This is another one. I like this one a lot too. But yeah. So he brought me 2 of these. These are so cool. You can see it opens from the wrong direction. Both of them have a little bit of both, but one of them had more knitting and one had more crochet. Let's find another good picture for you. They do a lot of vests. I know it does get quite cold in the winter in Japan, so. This is a pretty one. This green one here is really pretty. Has like a knit pearl pattern in the yoke. Like some diamonds and some zigzags. I like that. But yeah. So very, very fun. Thank you, Ewan. I love my books. Oh, look at the little dragons. Anyway, I got my reading cut out for me. Sorry, technical difficulties. I was saying I've got my reading cut out for me between my weaving books and my 2 new Japanese knitting and crochet pattern books. I should be good, but of course I also ordered several Kathleen Fuller books because I have quite a few on my Kindle and a few on Audible, and I had a couple hard copies that she had actually given me. And my library had a good bit of her older stuff too, but there were a few of her older sets that the library didn't have and I didn't have, so I ordered those. And so I've got her mysteries series, the 3 Amish mysteries she's written. I got those as well to read in the near future. So yay, lots of fun things. Now let's see. So I haven't acquired any yarn, but you should absolutely acquire yarn. I mean, I'm going to DFW Fiber Festival this month, September 19th through the 22nd, I believe. So you know I will acquire yarn. So you should definitely buy yarn. And if you haven't pre-ordered your Hot Springs Fiber Company Advent Calendar yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to go get this. There are a few left, but not a lot. So it's fine. Pause the video, scan the QR code that I'm putting right here. Use my affiliate link and go pre-order your Advent calendar. You won't be sorry. It is going to be so neat. In addition to the fact that there will be a pattern so that every day when you open your Advent yarn, you have a pattern to knit, like you're making something. You also will have a little bit of a story co-written by Tracy Anderson and Kathleen Fuller that will go along with it, so you'll have something to listen to while you knit, and you'll have both a book, a project, and the fun of the Advent calendar and opening the yarn. So if you haven't ordered that already, please use my affiliate link. Go order that. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be a really unique Advent calendar. You're not going to find another one like it. Shareables. I have things to share with you. I love sharing with you, and I have some really, truly wonderful women who make sharing with you so easy because they want to share with you too. So I have, oh, made it less pretty. I don't know if I can make it stay up. Okay. This is last month's giveaway, which is a Blanket of Knowledge box, the July Enchanted colorway from Hot Springs Fiber Company. It's a complete box. Now the giveaway is just the box. You're not getting the whole year-long subscription. But if you like this Enchanted colorway box, you could absolutely sign up and join the Enchanted version and get more boxes to go with it. I have cute little business cards. I've tucked one in here for you that have both a QR code and link to my YouTube channel, as well as the QR code and link to my affiliate link with Hot Springs Fiber Company. They are in this box for you. And this lucky winner, how many business cards did I put in here for you? I put 2, apparently. You only need 1. Actually, no, I'll let you have 2. One for you, and you can share one with a friend. Anyway, so I have already drawn the winner for this. I'm going to put the footage of the winner being chosen up on the screen. And congratulations to BR Baker 07. You are the lucky duck this month. So you win this July Hot Springs Fiber Company Blanket of Knowledge Enchanted colorway box in, I think it's DK weight yarn. If you will send your information to the email that is in the description box down below, I will get this out into the mail for you. Congratulations. All right, and so that takes care of the August winner. And I have, you guys, I have some really cool shareables for you in September. Rich Mountain Fiber Company out of Mena, Arkansas has graciously donated not one, not two, but 3 prizes for you guys this month, and they are gorgeous. So, what I have for you are 3. Oh, I got it. Oh, sorry. I got a tetanus shot in the shoulder 2 days ago. I think it was Thursday. Might have been Thursday. Today is Friday. So yesterday. And oh man, moving my shoulder. That tetanus shot, that ain't no joke. It's making its presence known. All right. So I have three prizes. I'm going to pick 3 winners next month. So please enter by commenting down below. Anything you say gets you entered, and tell your friends. There's 3 prizes. I only had 12 entries last month. Let your friends know, you guys. This is great yarn. It is dyed beautifully by Missy. So let's see. I want to tell you about the Arkansas Yarn Trails, which is the monthly subscription that is done by Rich Mountain Fiber Company. She hand dyes all of her yarn there in Mena, Arkansas. And she has so many choices, you guys. It is let's see, I'm going to read you her little thing here. Arkansas Yarn Trails is a monthly yarn subscription for the yarn lovers. Bases include 85% merino superwash and 15% nylon. These come in high twist or soft 4-ply in the fingering weight, or there's a DK weight, or there is a chunky weight. You have the option to add a mini skein with the DK or the fingering weight. These yarns are so soft and they take the dye beautifully. Each subscription comes with a stitch marker and a printed pattern suggestion. You don't have to use the printed pattern, but you can. And sometimes it's a knit one, and sometimes it's a crochet one, and sometimes she gives you 2. You have the option to come and purchase these or online, or you can go into Mena if you live near there and get them just individually every month. But there is the risk that they will be sold out. So the best way to make sure that you get your Arkansas Yarn Trails subscription is to subscribe. And she does offer a $5 discount on the price if you are a subscriber, as opposed to if you just go in and buy them by the month. Now, what I have to give away are the July colorways, which I believe were called Seedless Watermelon. So this is the chunky, and this is a picture of the pattern she recommended to go with it. And it has a cute, I don't know if you can see it, but it has the cutest little kitty cat stitch marker. Then she also gave me a DK weight with a mini and a Casapinka pattern to go with that. And it has a little stitch marker, which probably you could see at some point, but these have been tucked away, and I guess it's rolled over where you can't see the stitch marker. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry about the plastic crinkle. I know that's not a very pleasant sound. Oh, it's a little star. There you go. Can you see the little star? Little star stitch marker. And then the third one that she's given me is a fingering weight, and I'm not really sure if this is the 4-ply squishy or if it's the high twist. I'm not sure, but it's equally beautiful. Just a beautiful, I think the camera's picking up the color pretty well. It's maybe a little less red in real life and more watermelon-y than it's showing up in the camera, but it's not bad. It's close. I really need to invest in some better lighting. Oh, this one has a star also. And some better lighting here in the near future. Nah, it's not really that red. It's a watermelon is a really good descriptive word for what color it is. And then they have the green. The DK and the fingering both have the green mini with them. So yeah, I have 3 winners to pick out next month. Again, if you would like to win, please comment in the description box down below. The giveaway is open to anybody in the continental United States. If you live outside the continental United States, I'm happy to mail it to you. The issue is cost. So it will just depend. The last time I had to send one overseas, it was cost prohibitive. So if you still want to enter and you are overseas, if you're willing to help pay with the shipping, I'm happy to ship it to you. I just can't foot the bill entirely by myself. Although the more you guys shop Hot Springs Fiber Company using my link down below, the more money that I am able to put into the channel, because that is how I pay for things for the channel. So you could help with that. But yeah, I will ship it to anybody in the continental United States. I'm going to pick 3 winners. Whoever I draw first will just get to pick which weight they want first, and whoever I draw second will get to pick what they want, and the name I draw third will get whatever weight is left over. So I am excited about that. Missy did a great job. It's beautiful yarn, and I'm very excited that she has offered it to me to share with you. All right, guys, what else is going on here? We have got through shareables and plans and purposes. So I've already talked about a little bit. I mentioned I'm going to be in Hot Springs next weekend. I'm going to be teaching a class on using Ravelry, how to get the most out of your Ravelry account. I'm a big fan of the functionality of Ravelry. Politics aside, everybody's entitled to believe what they want and do how they want with it. So I'm not endorsing anybody on Ravelry or any beliefs they may or may not hold that may or may not be the same as mine. But in terms of how it functions, guys, it's a great website. There's an enormous database of patterns, many of which are free. There's an enormous database of yarn. It works well, it's set up well, and there's so much you can do with it. So if you are interested in learning how to really utilize all the little bits and pieces and nooks and crannies of your Ravelry account, and you're going to be in Hot Springs Fiber Company next Saturday, you can go to hotspringsfiberco.com and sign up for my class, and we will walk you through how to use Ravelry, everything from how to sign in and make a project, to fill up your stash, to look up patterns, to look up yarns, even how to get into the community, into the groups, to find your people and your space. We're going to cover all of it. So that is still taking people. There's still space in that class if you guys are going to be in Arkansas and want to do that. And let's see, if I mentioned DFW Fiber Festival's coming up, which I'm so excited about. My mom is going with me, and we're going to stay overnight again this year. Ever since we started going, my mom and I have gone together and stayed in a hotel overnight and kind of made a weekend of it, except last year. She came up for the day, but we did not stay. Actually, I don't even think she came up for the day last year. I think it was just me and Antonia. Yeah, I don't think she came last year at all. So this will be, and I didn't stay in Dallas because the reason I stay in Dallas normally is because my mommy pays for it. Thanks, Mom. So, you know, I just drove up, drove home, drove back, drove home again last year. It's kind of a long drive, but it's not impossible. But this year, Mommy's coming again, and she and I are going to stay in a hotel together, and we are going to do bingo night Friday night. So I think they're still selling tickets for bingo night. You can still sign up. I have never played bingo. I mean, I've played bingo, like, as a kid growing up, but I've never been to, like, a grown-up bingo where you're playing for prizes or anything. So I'm excited about that. And then Saturday, we're taking the Cottage Core Crochet Bag class with Allison Huffman. So I'm taking a crochet class. I'm excited about that. And yeah, so, and then my mom's going to go home Sunday. But I'm actually going to stay in the DFW area Sunday night. I'm going to have dinner with a dear friend of mine. He is the director and writer of A Creature Was Stirring. That movie is still coming. It's still being worked on. I think it's actually done. We went and saw the final cut. Oh, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, and it is gone to the distributor, and they're figuring out where they're gonna have it showing. So as soon as I hear more about that, I'll let you know, because I'm very proud of that movie. Yours truly dies in it. I have a whole, 5 seconds of screen time and an IMDb account for it too. My knitting appears in it very briefly, but it's there. And yeah, it was just fun. All my kids and my husband die in it also. So yeah, A Creature Was Stirring. I'm going to go hang out with Cliff. He's the director and the writer of that movie. Sunday night, and then I'm going to stay over with my sister-in-law because Monday the 23rd I am going to be taking my mother-in-law for her second bone marrow biopsy. So if I didn't mention this before, I think I have, but my mother-in-law has recently been diagnosed with leukemia. And my husband and his sister have been taking turns going to Dallas and helping her through her chemo and stuff. And actually, my husband was just down there a couple days ago with her most recent chemo treatment, and she's doing really well. We actually were blessed with the news that everything is not only going in the right direction, but going better than they had expected, and they are thinking about shortening her chemo treatments. So they were going to do her biopsy after at least one more treatment, but they've moved it up. And it's my turn to get to go and help out, so I will be with her on the day of her biopsy. So I'll just stay after the Fiber Festival, and I'll have plenty of stuff to knit, I'm sure, while she's in her biopsy, and I get to hang out with her and pray for her while she is having that procedure done. So we couldn't be more happy. That was such a blessing from the Lord that He has blessed her with healing, because her leukemia was stage 4. It had already metastasized into her spleen and some of her lymph nodes. It was definitely late stage. So it's really, really good to hear that it's responding well to the treatment. And my grandmother, who had fallen and broken her hip, is also doing really well. She is off her walker. She can use it if she needs it, but she doesn't have to use it. I know that she's still, recovering and stuff, but she is doing better. So thank you if you were praying for her. And my mother stayed healthy like I told her to, so I'm grateful for that. My dad has had some health issues, but all of his stuff seems to be going in the right direction as well. So really, the Lord has been incredibly gracious to us in providing healing for many of the members of my family that have had some health issues recently. So I'm going to close this in prayer. I am really excited about September. I look forward to all the fun things. I hope that you guys are knitting and crocheting and weaving and just, being the image of God that you are and making things just as He did. I think our creativity is an amazing blessing and gift from God, that He put that part of Himself in us when He made us. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts, Lord, because you have had so much mercy and healing blessings on my family this last month. Lord, I praise you for the progress that my father and my mother-in-law have made with their cancers, and I praise you for the healing that my grandmother has had with her hip. And I thank you, Lord, for my sons and for my husband and for our home. You brought our Japanese student home from Japan safe and sound. I thank you, Lord, for the wonderful visit he had with his mother. I thank you so much, Lord, for your many blessings. It is such a privilege that you give us the opportunity to do the things that we do and enjoy them in a way that praises and glorifies you. And in your Son's most precious name of Jesus we pray. Amen.